This video we're going to be ranking all of the weapons inside Warzone 2 Season 2. We've got a few new additions and obviously we've got some buffs and nerfs, so we want to go over what ones are the main meta weapons to try out if you've already got them unlocked, or obviously to go ahead and unlock them and use them. Basilisk is definitely top tier upper at the moment. It's still absolutely broken. They never actually even nerfed this gun, which is quite surprising. So with the snake shot ammo, this is a 2-shot kill with full armor plate, so definitely worth using as a secondary. The Bryson shotgun is definitely usable, not one of the better shotguns in the game. This is the Bryson 890, but again, it is usable for the most part. Bryson 800 is in the same kind of category as well. You can use it, but it isn't great. The Deagle pistols are actually usable. I've been using them as ground loot, and I don't know if this is to do with this new armor health or armor damage that we're getting inside Warzone, but it does feel pretty good. We've got the EBR, which again is usable as well. Semi-automatic, right attachments does make it feel pretty decent. The Expedite is definitely top tier lower. It's definitely one of the better shotguns. It's a bit more spammable, which is obviously what we're looking for when it comes to shotguns in general. The FENNEC-45 is still the meta SMG to use right now. Still absolutely deletes, even though it got a bit of a nerf. Wasn't anything major, so they probably will go ahead and nerf that again. FTAC RECON is kind of in the trash category at the moment. The reason why is because the mag capacity is a bit too low, even though it does do similar damage to the other marksman rifles. The HCR-56 again is either in top tier lower or the usable category. For LMGs, you can pretty much get away with 90% of them, to be honest, or pretty much all of them at the moment. The Hurricane, in my opinion, again is in the usable category. Is not a great SMG, to be honest. Is not the one I would recommend using, even though I do like it as a weapon. The ICARUS is top tier lower as well, along with the HCR. Both are in that top tier lower section, in my opinion. The Joker, I'll need to put in usable because it's very niche. Not a lot of people will use this in Warzone 2 because there's not a lot of super high buildings, but it is kind of just in that category there. KASTOV-545 is top tier lower-ish. Again, not one of the better assault rifles in the game, but it's definitely by no means you cannot use it. So I'm going to put it in top tier lower. KASTOV-762 is definitely top tier upper. Probably still one of the best sniper support guns in the game. Not the best though, but definitely one of the best. It's definitely a solid choice. You can also run it like an SMG as well. Still very, very good. KASTOV-762, still a super solid choice. I still think it's a meta rifle. Even though they did nerf it a bit, it still doesn't feel like it's been nerfed. Moving on to the lab now. Now, if you use the incendiary round, you can get a one-shot kill or a one-shot headshot with all the sniper rifles under a certain range. The lab, in my opinion, is an aggressive sniper, so I'm going to put it in top tier lower. LACHMANN-556, I actually think it's a solid weapons, to be honest. It just doesn't really output a ton of damage, but in terms of recoil control, it's very easy to manage, so I'm going to put it in top tier lower. LACHMANN-762 is a semi-auto weapon. I'm just going to put it in usable. LACHMANN Sub, which is the MP5, is absolutely a meta choice right now. It's probably the meta choice. People are not trusting the FENNEC too much because of the little nerf, but I do still think the FENNEC is the main weapon. Then we've got the LMS. Again, it is usable, so I'm just going to put it in this category here. Not fantastic though. Lockwood 300 is probably the worst shotgun in the game, and I would recommend staying far away from that one as possible. The M16, again for Warzone and also Resurgence. I just need to stay away from this gun because it's very inconsistent, and that is the main issue with it, to be honest. The M4 with this new armor damage, I do think is probably just going to be a meta gun, to be honest. Very easy to use, and overall just a solid choice. Then we've got the MCPR, which is one of the better snipers when it comes to that incendiary ammo, so I'm going to put it in top tier upper. Snipers are kind of creeping up in the meta, but once they can one-shot headshot pretty much without any additional attachments and things, I will put them higher up on the list. The MINIBAK, I do think is top tier upper right now. It could even be meta, to be honest, because it feels really good in game. I don't really know if they've made any slight adjustments to this gun at all. They never really mentioned it in the patch notes, but it does feel really good, to be honest. So absolutely, it's top tier upper and could potentially push into the meta slot as well. Lockwood MK2, people are running this for some reason. I don't really know why. It doesn't really feel too great to me when I use it, so it is definitely unusable. MX9 is definitely top tier lower. It is a good SMG, to be honest. but it doesn't really beat out some of the other ones. The P890s in akimbo now are usable, but they did get heavily nerfed. Now, the PDSW is good for movement, but in terms of TTK, not really fantastic. I'm going to put it in the usable category, or it can even go in top tier lore, which I'll put it in here actually. Pila is niche, once again, for vehicles and things, so obviously you can use it, but it's not something I'd super recommend in a loadout specifically anyway. The RAAL MG is still a meta gun in my opinion. If you build this correctly, it still has pretty much no recoil. TTK is absolutely broken. The RAPP is top tier upper, is basically like a super fast fire rate gun, similar to the M13. It has a bit more capacity but a bit more recoil, but overall it's still easy to manage. RPG again usable because it's a niche weapon for vehicles and things. RPK is still broken, still a meta choice, even though it got nerfed, it's still probably one of the best long range rifles in the SAB is going to go in top tier lore. Again, I can't really put any of these marksman rifles any higher up until we get one-shot headshot snipers in the game. SAKIN, in my opinion, is top tier upper, or even could be meta, to be honest. It is a very solid choice for LMGs at the moment. Does it beat out the RAAL and the RPK? Probably not, but I do still think it's one of the better long-range options. The Signal is definitely top tier upper. Again, it cannot one-shot headshot, but the faster fire rate on this allows it to compete, and it was the best sniper for the longest time. The incendiary ammo doesn't really help this gun too much, by the way. The SO14 is just usable. SPR, again, top tier lore. SPX, top tier lore. STB, top tier upper. I do think this is still a solid gun. People are not really using it, but I do think it's a sleeper. Strela, again, niche weapon. TAQ-V is top tier upper still. People are using this, but is nowhere near as good as the RPK still. Then we've got the TAQ-56, which is obviously a meta choice still. Super low recoil. Very good weapon overall. TAQ-M is just usable once again. Actually, I think the TAQ-M would actually be in the trash category for the most part, but I guess we'll need to kind of try it a bit more because I don't really use semi-auto guns. Vaznev is definitely either top tier upper or meta. In terms of meta wise, this is a very good sniper support, so I'm going to put it in meta. The VEL-46 is definitely top tier upper in terms of SMGs. The hipfire build is absolutely amazing. The X12, which is the semi-auto pistols, again, are usable even if you use them in akimbo. They're okay, to be honest now, but there's also better secondary options. The X13 got nerfed, but I still think it's a slightly better secondary choice, even if you're going to run it in akimbo. So definitely, X13s in akimbo are easier to use, but also they did get nerfed, so just keep that in mind. But overall, the akimbo pistols are still viable. I would still say that you can use them for sure. But for the most part, you'd want to be using that Basilisk pistol. M13B, definitely top tier upper, if not potentially a meta assault rifle as well. I do think for the most part, LMGs are the main meta here. BAS-P, in my opinion, is top tier lower. It's not quite as good as the MX-9 in my opinion, but it's definitely a good SMG. You could definitely use it. The Victus XMR is top tier upper when it comes to sniper rifles. This is probably the best sniper rifle to use in the game with the incendiary ammo and 100 meter damage drop off. You're going to get a one-shot kill up to 100 meters, which is absolutely handy. So if I was to pick a sniper right now, it would be between the Victus or the Signal. Then we've got the Chimera, which is the best sniper support gun in the game right now. Uses assault rifle ammo, which is very common. You also get a good damage range. You also get good TTKs. It didn't really take too much of a nerf as well. The broadside shotgun is absolutely broken meta right now. Basically the Origin 12 shotgun with the Dragon's Breath rounds, and it's absolutely insane at the moment. So definitely a super solid choice. Crossbow is going to be either trash or in the usable category. We've not actually got it in Warzone yet, and I have tried it in private matches, but to be honest, it's kind of one of those niche ones where obviously it can sit there. But for the most part, these are kind of just niche weapons. Then we've got the Hemlock, which I do think is top tier upper. If not, it actually probably will be a meta gun. I think the mag capacity does need a bit of a buff, but other than that, it's actually a very easy gun to use. The TTKs are actually very consistent on this gun as well. Obviously we'll have all the numbers and stuff in a TTK video soon, but for the most part the Hemlock feels really good. We've already got a build on the channel as well if you do want to check that out. So that is all the guns ranked for Season 2. For the most part, you want to be picking weapons that are in top tier, upper or above, of course, because these are the guns that are going to give you the best TTKs, the best recoil control, and overall just help you win games in general. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.